Two retirees walk into the same restaurant on the same evening. Harold pulls up in a brand-new car, orders the best thing on the menu, and quietly picks up the entire check. Eleanor arrives in an old sedan, orders the soup, and splits the bill down the middle. One of these two people is genuinely, deeply wealthy. And it is not the one reaching for the card, because the number that actually decides whether a retiree is wealthy is not the one everybody stares at. Most people think wealthy in retirement means a big net worth. $1 million, $2 million, some impressive total sitting in an account. It does not. There is a different number, one almost nobody ever calculates, that quietly decides whether you are actually free or just very good at looking it. And these two retirees are about to show you exactly what that number is. Meet Harold, with a net worth of $1.6 million. And meet Eleanor, with a net worth of $750,000. On paper, Harold is more than twice as wealthy as she is. In reality, it is almost the exact opposite. Watch closely, because the reason is the whole point. Start with Harold, because Harold looks the part. He has the big house in the nice neighborhood, 2 newer cars in the driveway, the club membership, the good watch. Everything about him signals money. To keep that life running, Harold spends about $120,000 a year. And quietly, he carried a mortgage with him into retirement. Now, here is the problem hiding under the surface. That $1.6 million sounds enormous, but against his spending, it is draining a little more every year. To cover his life, Harold has to pull far more from his portfolio annually than is anywhere near safe. One long, bad stretch in the market, and the entire picture starts to crack. Harold is not wealthy. He is well-dressed, and he is dangerously exposed. You can almost see the day it catches up with him. A market drop, a new roof, a sudden health scare. Any one of them forces Harold to sell investments at exactly the wrong moment, locking in the loss for good. The big number that made him feel so safe is the very thing quietly putting him at risk. Now look at Eleanor, who looks almost aggressively ordinary. A small house she paid off years ago. One older car that simply works. Simple tastes, and not because she is forced into them. She spends about $45,000 a year, and she is not depriving herself of anything. That is genuinely the life she wants to be living. And here is what changes everything. Her Social Security and a small pension already cover most of that $45,000 by themselves. Her $750,000 barely has to lift a finger. She could stop touching it entirely, today, and still be completely fine. Her money, very calmly, is going to outlive her. And because her income already covers her life, a surprise barely moves her. A bad market year is just news to Eleanor, not a threat. A broken furnace is an annoyance, not an emergency. Her wealth was never in the size of the account, it is in how little she actually needs it to do. So here is the number almost nobody calculates. It is not your net worth. It is the gap between your reliable income and your annual spending. When your dependable income, your Social Security, any pension, and a genuinely safe slice of your portfolio fully covers what you spend, you are wealthy. When it does not, no impressive headline number can save you. Call it the coverage line. And by that measure, Eleanor crossed the line years ago, and Harold never crossed it at all. She has more income than she actually needs. He has more lifestyle than he can possibly sustain. The smaller number turned out to be the free one. The bigger number turned out to be the trapped one. And this is the cruel trick of a big number. It feels like security, so it quietly gives you permission to spend more, which is exactly what destroys the security in the first place. The number grows, the lifestyle grows faster, and the gap never closes. Harold did not fail because he had too little. He failed because his life always expanded to swallow whatever he had. Quick, honest note before we go further. None of this is financial advice. It is just the way the math tends to work. Your situation and your numbers are entirely your own. Now, back to it, because here is why almost everyone gets this completely backwards. We are trained our whole lives to measure wealth by what we can see. The house, the car, the watch, who reaches for the check at dinner. But every single one of those things is spending, not wealth. They are money leaving, dressed up to look like money arriving. Real wealth in retirement is almost invisible on purpose. It is the quiet absence of worry, not the loud presence of stuff. So becoming the wealthy retiree is not about chasing a bigger and bigger number. It comes down to two much quieter levers. Raise your reliable income by timing Social Security well, by any pension, by steady dividends, and lower the spending you actually require by owning your home outright, killing your debt, and refusing to inflate your life every year. You close the gap from both sides at once. Put it in plain numbers for a second. A retiree who needs $40,000 a year and has $50,000 coming in reliably is wealthier than one who needs $150,000 and only has $90,000 coming in, even if that second person has 3 times the net worth on paper. The first one never has to touch their principal. The second one is quietly bleeding it every single year just to keep up appearances. And you can actually see the difference on their faces. Harold checks his account balance constantly, almost compulsively, because somewhere deep down he knows the math is tight. Eleanor almost never looks at hers, not because she is rich on paper, but because she is free in practice. That quiet, that not needing to check, is what being wealthy actually feels like from the inside. And here is the genuinely good news. Eleanor's kind of wealth is far more reachable than Harold's ever was. You do not have to win the high-income game to get there. You need a paid-off home, low fixed costs, and reliable income that comfortably covers them. That version is available to a school teacher, a nurse, a mechanic. Harold's version is available to almost no one, and as we just saw, it does not even actually work. So the next time you wonder whether you have enough to be wealthy in retirement, stop staring at the big intimidating number. Look at the gap instead. Tell me in the comments. Just type the word gap if this reframed it for you. And if you want the next breakdown, the one on exactly how much you really need to retire comfortably, it is waiting for you right now. I read every single one.